So in this video, I'm going to be answering questions from you, the community. Each month, I make a community post where you can ask your questions about the credit card world, credit card strategies, life updates, or anything in between. And today, we're going to go over how to get multiple welcome offers on the Chase Sapphire cards, my strategy concerning luxury travel credit cards as a whole, the best strategy concerning the Ritz Carlton card, and how I view hard inquiries in the context of credit card applications. Now, I answer all of those questions and more in a monthly live stream, but of course, I can't cover all of those questions in this particular video, so if you want to watch the full unedited live stream, I'll leave a link to that video up top, as well as down in the description below. But with that being said, let's get right into it. And he asks, if you stacked every credit card that you have on top of each other, how tall would that tower be? And so the way I took this question is that every credit card that I have currently, not including authorized users. And so I had to measure it, and I did that last night. And so we'll take a look at that. So that's what that looks like here. So the answer to that question is actually 5/8 of an inch, or 1.59 centimeters. And it was really funny because my fiance helped me take this picture, and she was like, you should tell them this in centimeters. And I was like, no, this is America. In America, we use inches. So 5/8 inches, that's kind of what we're using here. And so that's what it looks like. You can see there's 8 metal cards off the top there. There's also 9 plastic cards. So I have 17 currently credit cards that are active. 4 of them are embossed, so I think it's a little bit less than that. The embossed cards are kind of annoying. I think the 4 that I had were the Barclay Card Arrival, Chase Ink Unlimited, Chase Ink Cash, and the Hilton Honors Business. Hilton Honors Business is going to be changed soon, so I'm not worried about that one. But the Chase Ink cards, they were actually, the aesthetic was refreshed in 2021. It used to be a little different, and I thought that the embossed cards would go away. And I think it's kind of annoying that they're still embossed, because those cards, as you all know, are outstanding cards. You know, Chase Ink Cash, Chase Ink Unlimited, my gosh, like they are very, very powerful cards with very, very powerful welcome offers. But the issue is that they're still embossed, so it looks kind of crappy and it doesn't look great. So I would hopefully they'll refresh the aesthetic at some point and make sure that, it looks better like the other plastic cards. But I don't know, just a little thing that, aesthetics, in my opinion, does matter. Especially, I think it's actually more important than metal versus plastic. I think plastic versus plastic embossed, you got to get rid of embossed. It's just not a thing anymore. I know why they had it. They used to do that thing where they put your card down. They had this little slide thing. They slide it back and forth like this, and it inked onto this white paper so you can get your card number. But we're past that now. So just get rid of the embossed cards. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look pretty. No one likes it. I don't know anyone who likes it. And it makes these kinds of measurements not accurate. So anyways, just my little 2 cents about that. Okay. So yes, everyone's saying America. This is America. That's right, Tony. USA, Luke's Points and Miles. Absolutely. We want to make sure we do that. Marcos Sevilla. We got America. Look at you. Statue of Liberty. This guy. Here we go. He loves America. We love America here. That's what we're all about. Okay. Excellent. I love it. I love it. David William also. By the way, David, thanks for commenting on my channel. I see you all the time there. We have some good discourse there. What checking, savings, brokerage accounts do you like to use? So the ones I like to use are the ones that don't change a lot, because the ones that offer you 5.25 APY on your savings account, those are typically promotional. And I'm old enough to know that when you have a good APY like that, it's not going to stay for a long time. I like the stable APY. So for example, I think Ally Bank does 4.35 and I bank with them. They're pretty stable. They'll kind of stay there and not tease you with a 6% APY and then change it all of a sudden. Or some of these crypto companies do that sort of thing. So I'm all about stability. And so if you're a stable bank with a stable multiplier or a stable APY, I'm all for that. So those are the types of accounts I like to use. Okay, very good. So let's go away and go to the next question. Mr. Lance, what is the process to get another a sign-up bonus or a welcome offer from Chase after the 4-year window has passed on any other cards? And so I am not the foremost Chase expert, but I will say that there is a process to this. I think what he's referring to, and correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, he's referring to the Chase Sapphire Preferred and Chase Sapphire Reserve. So as far as I know, every Chase credit card has a welcome offer language that says you must wait 24 months before you get the welcome offer again. That's for the Chase Freedom cards. That's for the Chase Southwest cards, for the Chase United cards. But the only exception to that rule is going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred and Chase Sapphire Reserve cards. And so if you look at that, you can see that the welcome offer language says that you must wait at least 48 months before you get another one. And so, in order to deal with that, there's two ways to do that. You can product change the card you currently have. And I also want to mention you can only have one Sapphire card at a time, so you can't have both. So if you're at that 4-year mark, you would product change that card down to a Freedom card, so you don't have a Sapphire card anymore, and then apply for a new Sapphire card. Or you could just cancel the Sapphire card itself if you don't want to have a Freedom card for whatever reason, and then reapply for that Sapphire card again for the welcome offer. That's how I think that they're looking at it. If I missed something about that question, let me know, but that's kind of how I interpreted this question. Okay, thanks so much for the question. RemGB, okay, we're here to question number 7. So with the family of 4, including 2 kids, economy travel is more practical for me. I'm finding more and more that booking with 1.5 cents per point value using CSR is the best value redemption for economy travel. Booking with points, even for international travel for economy, does not come closer to that value. This, along with coupon fatigue, is driving me away from Amex and closer to Chase. I think you and a lot of other people as well. CSR is a highly underrated card. It supercharges your Chase UR points. When are you getting CSR? I think it pairs well with the US Bank Altitude Reserve. And so I think that's a really great question, RemGB. So just to kind of take a step back, the US Bank Altitude Reserve card and the Chase Sapphire Reserve, we take a look at both of those cards together. You obviously, US Bank Altitude Reserve, great 3x multiplier on mobile wallets and travel. CSR, 3x points on travel and dining. So I think from the multiplier standpoint, you can use that dining on the CSR to complement the US Bank Altitude Reserve. Although I think because the mobile wallet covers a lot of that already, it's kind of more of a mesh than I think it is. What really separates them out is kind of the lounge access. So US Bank Altitude Reserve gets you that 8 lounges every year, and their priority pass lounges are actually very similar to what the CSR gives you. Again, access to the restaurants. And so I think that's really important to distinguish, because in that situation, only the Chase Sapphire Reserve has the access to that Boston or Hong Kong lounge that's currently open now for those Chase lounges. And so I think if you lived in, like, for example, those areas, like in Boston, Chase Sapphire Reserve is going to be better. I do get what you're saying about the 1.5 cent per point redemption from the Chase Travel Portal. Still very, very good. Again, that's something that can be used well, but the Altitude Reserve also has a very similar feature to that, and they also can do the real-time rewards too. So I think that's even more flexible than Chase. But we have to admit that Chase does have the transfer partner. So it depends on kind of what you're looking for. Now, the second part of the question is, when are you getting the Chase Sapphire Reserve? I want to put the slide up here. So this is what I think is going to be the luxury travel credit cards kind of moving forward. We've got the Platinum card at $695. We got the Sapphire Reserve card at $550, and the Venture X at $395. And so in my mind, I will only have one of these cards at a time. And the reason for that is I really don't like having a credit card setup that has overlap. And so when I look at these travel credit cards, the one thing that stands out to me, other than the annual fees, is the access to the lounges they give you, right? And so obviously Platinum has the Centurion Lounge Network, Sapphire has their Chase lounges, Capital One has their Capital One lounges. And so based on where I live geographically in the United States is where I'm going to choose my card. So for example, Dallas, Fort Worth, Denver, I'm going to choose Venture X. Boston, I'm going to choose a Reserve. Anything with the Centurion Lounge is going to be the Platinum. For me, I travel a lot through California, so we have escape lounges in Sacramento, which I go to a lot. That's going to be the Platinum card is kind of the best one for me because I use that lounge all the time. But I never really fly to Boston that much. I don't fly to Dallas or Denver that much, and so those lounge access is kind of not really what I'm looking for. So I think the Platinum card is kind of what my choice will be. So if the Chase Sapphire Reserve ever comes out with a lounge that makes sense for me, that may be a reason why I get it. For the Capital One Venture X card, if I ever need a card for a 2x multiplier, which I don't think I'll ever need because I already have one, that may be an issue too. But again, it's all based on geography. And so let's take a look here. Alan. Oh, by the way, thank you, Alan, for joining as a member. Appreciate you, buddy. Said I have a question. Is it okay to start out with the Amex Brilliant Marriott card first, then Chase? Yes, that's certainly good to do too. Just know that when you get Amex Marriott cards, you have to wait at least 24 months before you're eligible to get the welcome offer on any Chase cards, right? The reason why that it may make sense to start out with Chase first, especially the boundless card, is because you can start that timer for that Ritz Carlton product change. Whereas if you start with Amex first, you may not be able to do that. And so that's really important just to keep in mind. And Ritz not in your mindset, or you don't want to get the Ritz card, it's totally fine. So depends on what you value more, platinum status or getting Chase cards first. It's kind of up to you. Very good. Thank you. Let's see. Crimson K asks, hey Stan, does RC give you access to Sapphire Lounges but not Terrace? I do not believe they give access to Sapphire Lounges. And that's why the CSR may be better in the case if you want to go to a Sapphire Lounge. But they do both give you party passes that give you access to non-airport loungy type of places like restaurants. The specifics, I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of how I would view it. Okay, very good. So let's keep on rolling here. Next question, Eagles all day. So first of all, Eagles all day. I don't know if it's because you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan or you actually like watching Eagles fly around like the birds. And both are great, not to mention which one is which. But, if you were to just let me know which one you'd like, I'm curious, but I was trying to decipher your name. And I want to say it is Philadelphia Eagles, like a fan. By the way, they're doing really well in the NFC, so kudos to you. But I just want to know if you really like Eagles, the NFL team, or Eagles like the actual bird Eagles, because they're both great. Because again, we live in America. In America, we love Eagles. Good. So, hey Stan, is there any rumor or reason Chase would no longer allow people to product change to the Ritz Carlton card? I'm at the start of the Marriott strategy, which is the boundless card, and wondering if I should just product change after 1 year instead of 2. Great question. I think I get this question a lot because everyone's concerned about the Ritz Carlton shutting down or they're limiting access to them because of the fact they can't apply for them directly. So let's take a look at that. This is the Ritz Carlton card. You can see here that we have an annual fee of $450. But remember, this card was discontinued on July 26, 2018. That's about 5 years ago. And so in my mind, if they wanted to cancel the card completely or make it something different, they would have done it already. And I think Chase actually wants to keep this card open. And there's a couple of reasons why. For the Bonvoy Brilliant versus Chase Ritz Carlton card argument, American Express has the premium Bonvoy cards available, both for the business side as well as that Bonvoy Brilliant. But Chase doesn't have access to that type of card for, I don't know if it's because that's the agreement they have with Marriott Bonvoy versus Amex. And so I think Chase wants to keep this luxury card around because it's their only way to do so. And so I don't think that they're going to cancel this card or make it harder to get. This is all speculation, by the way. I have no idea what's going on. So I just take that with a grain of salt. But just based on what I've seen from the history of this card, I don't think they're going to close out an ability to product change from the boundless card to this card. It's just something that's well known. We know about it. Could it go the way of City Prestige? Yeah, but Chase is not City. City is City. So we have to think of that too. So let's keep that in mind. Second thing is at Ritz Carlton, and this has been my personal experience, if you're a Marriott status member, it typically doesn't really matter for Ritz Carlton. I've seen some data points where if you're titanium, maybe it's better. They may give you more perks or some upgrades, but for the most part, Ritz Carlton has their own system where they will give you upgrades or not. And so that is in line with what the Ritz Carlton offers you. So if you do stay at Ritz Carlton properties, and for example, you want to use those 3 free Ritz Carlton Club upgrades, that's something to think about. And so for those reasons, I think the Ritz Carlton card will continue to be in the ecosystem and will continue to be something we can use as part of our strategies. So just moving back to the chat here, my boy, Stan the Man, salute. Thank you, Chris V. Appreciate your comments. Let's see here. Anything else? I have to keep going up here. Perfect. I think we're good here. I think we have Kim here. I think you should do a review about the Founders card. It saved me a lot on Waldorf hotels, especially during conventions in Las Vegas. Oh, it's interesting. I don't know much about the Founders card. I'll definitely look into it. And definitely if I think it's a worthwhile card to review, I'll definitely take a look at it. So thanks for the tip. Appreciate it. Matt Walter has to head out. Congrats on Matt Walter. I have to head out. Congratulations on all of your success with the channel recently, and more to come in 2024. Stan, happy holidays, everyone. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you, sir. Hope you have a good, happy holidays as well. Merry Christmas to you and your lovely wife, and we will hopefully see you real soon. Okay, and then so let's keep going with these questions here. My man Vincent asked a question: how many hard inquiries would be deemed as too many by future card prospects? And so let's cover that real fast. There is no hard number that I would use to say too many. There obviously is, going to be a context dependent answer to that. So let's cover that. So I am of the mindset that being conservative with your hard inquiries is very important. And that's also why I apply for a lot of American Express cards, because of that little thing they have. That's, if you have one personal card, every other application is a soft pull. And I love that. I can get a lot more of their cards and actually subsequently spend more on their cards because of that. I think back to all of the Chase cards I would love to get, but because of the Chase 524 rule, I just don't get them. And so I know that some people have beat 524. I don't try to push my luck because I know that if I don't get it, I'll get a hard pull. And I don't want to have a hard pull for nothing. Excuse me. Some people don't mind that because if you look at people like Luke's Points and Miles, for example, who plays for a lot of credit cards, there's a lot of hard inquiries on their credit report, and that's okay. But I want to say that Luke owns a house. I don't own a house yet. I would like to own a house at some point. Don't know when that's going to happen. So having a lower hard inquiry is important. So that's my personal thing about that. It's also issuer dependent, right? And so if you apply for a Capital One card or a Citi card and you got 11 inquiries on your report, they're just going to laugh at you and, basically, stick their nose up at you on the way out because they're not going to approve for the card, right? Now, if you have 11 inquiries based on kind of how they're spread out, Chase and Amex typically are a little bit better about that. Not saying that they would approve you for a card, but I think that they're a little better about that. But you can be guaranteed that you have, other banks that are more inquiry sensitive. They're just going to just not do that for you. US Bank is another one, by the way, as well. That is very inquiry sensitive. Like I said before, it's also context dependent because if it's a context of where these hard inquiries are. So say, for example, I had those 11 hard pulls and they are actually 12 months ago. So you had 0.6 hard pulls, 0.12 hard pulls, and 11.24 hard pulls. I don't think any of those hard pulls matter, right? And so I don't think there's a number, so to speak. But from my perspective, I try to keep my hard pulls from each report around 4 to 6 at a time. So, for example, maximum 4 to 6 on Experian, maximum 4 to 6 on TransUnion, maximum 4 to 6 on Equifax. If it's lower, it's better. But that's kind of a gauge what I use when I apply for credit cards to keep my hard pulls in check so I can maximize my chances for approval, but at the same time be okay with having some hard pulls on my report. And this may change as I move forward in 2024 because I'll apply for most likely less American Express cards. So I got to be really good about maximizing my chances to make sure those hard pulls really do count. Okay. Great. So, Cesar Joel, hit that like button, guys. Thank you, Cesar. I really appreciate that. Also, I have a thing here. Let's take a look where I can find it. I think it's this one. It's a banner here. Hit that like button. All right. If you're getting value, definitely hit the like button. We appreciate it so much. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. So, Alan has a comment here. So I guess I could start Brilliant Card with welcome bonus and also open up Chase Marriott without welcome bonus. Yes, that actually is something you can do. If you do not value the Chase welcome offer, then you can just don't worry about it. But if you want to value the welcome offer, then you probably should wait 2 years. Let's see. Matt Clausen says loss of the Ritz Carlton card publicly available occurred when Marriott finished off the Starwood purchase and Starwood had Amex. I think it was a Amex condition since they lost Starwood. Very good, Matt. Matt, I think you're totally right about that. It's when the Starwood merger happened, there was a lot of shuffling, and I think it just so happened Chase got, the lower tier cards and Amex got the higher tier plus the business. And so I don't know the specifics about that. I have to look it up on the internet, but that is that's definitely for sure.